So this story right here is interesting for a number of reasons. Trump, after he got his mugshot taken, decided to do the most Trumpian thing in the world and attempt to spin it as a positive. So, he does the whole, I'm a political prisoner, this is persecution, this is election interference. He does that whole song and dance. And so he took his mugshot and put it on merchandise. He put it on mugs, he put it on T-shirts, and he started selling it. Now, apparently, that may be illegal. So they say in the New York Post here, Trump may have violated copyright law by selling mugshot merchandise. Now, I know this sounds kind of tedious and in the weeds, but it's really interesting because of what they can do with the $7 million that he raised as a result of this. Donald Trump's campaign may have violated U.S. copyright law by selling merchandise featuring the former president's mugshot, legal experts have warned. The Republican frontrunner's campaign wasted no time capitalizing off the mugshot made of him at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, featuring the former president scowling into the camera. Merchandise emblazoned with a historic photo and the slogan, "Never Surrender," was quickly hawked for between $12 and $34. So let me pause here to point out the hilarious irony of "Never Surrender" being written on it when this is literally him surrendering to get arrested. That, if they're the Trump movement in a nutshell is exactly that. Never surrender while I surrender. Within just 3 days, the Trump campaign made $7.1 million off of the merchandise, which included T-shirts, mugs, koozies, and bumper stickers. But legal scholars say that money may rightfully belong to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, which took the photo, as U.S. copyright law stipulates that the law enforcement agency that takes the mugshot is the legal owner of it. In the context of photographs taken by law enforcement during the booking process, the author of the mugshot photograph is the law enforcement agency. The 2022 University of Georgia School of Law's Journal of Intellectual Property Law states, as such, Betsy Rosenblatt, a professor at Case Western Reserve University School of Law, says there are limitations to what people may do with such photographs. So they're prohibited from using it for a number of things without explicit authorization. They're prohibited from reproducing it, making derivative artwork of it, distributing it without authorization, or distributing anything that isn't the one copy you already lawfully have, and various other things. They didn't even alter it in any way, shape, or form. They just took the mugshot as it is, slapped it on some mugs and some T-shirts and a bunch of things, and started selling it. Now, by the way, as of the recording of this, I bet it's over $10 million now that they raised from selling this mugshot. Now, what's interesting is the Trump campaign themselves go on to acknowledge that anybody else who's trying to sell T-shirts or various merch with the Trump mugshot on it, you're not allowed. We're going to come after you using copyright law, because there are people who are just trying to cash in on it who are not affiliated with the campaign, and they're selling that merchandise. And so the Trump people are like, we're going to come after you for violating copyright law, which is ironic because they don't even own the copyright to this thing. So here's where the fun twist comes in. Now, normally I wouldn't care about this story. This seems, kind of silly and in the weeds or whatever. It is classic Trump too, though, right? Just do the thing and deal with the consequences later. And 9 out of 10 times they just get away with doing the thing, and there are no consequences because he was so brazen and bold in breaking the rules that it's just what are you going to do? You want to come after me? It's not going to work. Go ahead and try. But in this instance, they say, hey, by law, Fulton County in Georgia can sue. They would almost certainly win to get this money that they raised, which probably now over $10 million. Remember, guys, the Fulton County jail where Trump was booked, this is a historically terrible jail. There was an inmate there who was literally eaten alive by bugs and died. It's falling apart. The walls are dilapidated. The floor is dilapidated. Nothing is clean. Everything's old and breaking down. And so they go on to point out they could, in theory, sue, get the $10+ million, and use it to fix the prison, or the jail, I should say. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I mean, people are speculating, hey, there's a question as to whether or not they would actually want to have to go through the process of getting a copyright attorney and spending the time to wage the law. And who knows, would it take 2 years in order for this result to come about? Who knows? So they're speculating whether or not they even want to take that step. But look, if at the end of the day, there's a $10 million payment to improve your jail with horrendous conditions, all because Trump decided to illegally sell merchandise with his mugshot on it, I don't know why you wouldn't do it, right? And it also prevents them from using that $10 million to do more scams of people, which they do all the time, or using that $10 million to fund the campaign. It also prevents them from using it for a variety of things that are negative. Honestly, I think they should do it. I think they should sue. I think they should take the money, and I think they should use it to beef up the jail, because there's something like, it's a rare instance of like justice in the world. Like Trump doing something very Trumpian, no approval, totally illegal, but like the end result of it for once actually being a positive thing, where it's like, actually, this couldn't have worked out better if we scripted it. Like, go ahead, sell it, and then give us the money, and then we'll rebuild the jail and make it better. I mean, I think that's wins all around, to be honest. So they should do it. If it wasn't for that twist at the end with like the jail getting the money, I wouldn't really cover the story. It's not that big of a deal, but it is very Trumpian, the thing that he did, selling it and never surrender and all that stuff. And it would be true justice if at the end of the day, the Fulton County Jail gets that money and is able to make the jail not the biggest living hellhole on the planet. That would be positive for everybody involved. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.